In all of our travels here on Let's Fish TV, there are few places we go that present as many fishing options as the place we're coming to you from in the next half hour. Lots of fish, lots of good ones, and a lot of fun coming. Let's Fish TV is on the air right now. That is a fish. Oh man, look at this.
It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southeast region every week.
Oh my gosh. Oh, look at that. Woo!
This is Let's Fish.
Hi everybody, I'm so glad you're with us for this week's episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. Why do I say that this place is the mecca of fishing for the Southeast? Well, because we're coming to you from a place called Lenoir City, Tennessee. It's just west of Knoxville, and it is literally surrounded by water and by fish. It's got several major river systems, several big reservoirs. It's got everything from giant bass to trophy striped bass. Today we're going to be fishing for big white bass and maybe, if I get lucky, a walleye. And we're going to be doing it in the Tennessee River at the Fort Loudoun Dam. This is a big dam system that releases water from Loudoun Lake down in the Tennessee River. It goes on downstream. We'll explain where a little bit later in the show. While we're doing that, we're taking you around your local region for this week's fishing reports from our expert team of insider reporters from lakes, rivers, bays, right outside your back door, both freshwater and saltwater. And we're going to be fishing today out of our Blazer 650 Pro Tour fishing boat. This thing is a dream machine. It's got lots of casting space, lots of storage. It rides high and dry and very stable in rough water or smooth water. I love to fish out of this boat. It's rigged out with my Mercury Pro XS 250, my Motor Guide Tour Pro trolling motor, my Lowrance HDS live graphs, everything you would want in a fishing boat. We're gonna have a lot of fun. So right now, this goes down the boat ramp. Next time you see me, I'll be below the Fort Loudoun Dam in Tennessee. Let's get things started back at the studio and your weekend planning.
Hi everybody, and so great to see you again. The salooner tables are indicating we will have good game fish activity for both days this weekend. Peak daytime hours begin at 1:29 on Saturday and 2:21 on Sunday afternoon. The best nighttime fishing will begin after 1:04 on Saturday and 1:56 on Sunday night. Depending on your area, the sun will rise around 6:38 and set at 8:33. Nighttime fishing should be bright with the full moon this weekend. Stick around, we've got fishing reports from across the area on the way. Plus, I'll return with Bassmaster Elite Angler John Cox to answer this week's Ask the Pro question. Stay with us.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Power Pole, Total Boat Control. Visit Mississippi. Good times are close by. Low Boats, 50 years of boating craftsmanship. Balls Out, made in the USA. Heavy-duty mounts for your fish finders.
Look at that. They're long, skinny fish here. Some places over here in the Southeast, they call them stripes. There's a fish. First one, be a white bass. Be one of these Tennessee River whites. There it comes. Yep. There we go. There's a start. Welcome back, everybody. We've made it below the Fort Loudoun Dam on the Tennessee River just outside Lenoir City, Tennessee. And there, it's just an average size white bass for this area. They get bigger, but that's a good start. You can see we're in front of the dam here, and this is the Tennessee River that comes out of these gates here and these bubblers. And let me give you the setup here in the lay of the land. I mentioned that there are lakes and rivers just everywhere here. It starts with a little Tennessee River that's just on the other side of this dam that empties into the Tennessee River. The Tennessee River then comes out of this dam, goes downstream. The Clinch River joins in with it, and it forms Watts Bar Reservoir. Then there's another lock and dam, just like this one, On the lower end of Watts Bar, the water goes through that and into Lake Chickamauga, which is one of the best big bass lakes anywhere in the Southeast. We've got all kinds of fish. The huge stripers are the big ticket here. They're giants below some of these dams, but we're actually fishing for white bass today. I just wanted to catch some because they grow great big here, and we'll explain how we're going to catch them, how the current that you see here affects these fish and positions them that they can be caught. You can make a trip here for some of the great fishing. We're going to show you a couple of other species in addition to the white bass.
Hey folks, it's time for your Carolinas Report, brought to you by Crazy Sister Marina. Come down and live like a local. Let us take care of everything you want to do on the water here in the Grand Strand. We're located on the Marsh Walk. It's pretty easy to find, but we can do everything. Paddleboards, kayaks, want to go out on a private charter boat? Come down and visit us. Visit crazysistermarina.com to find out more ways we can make sure your time on the water is better. You know, a lot of things have been going on with the fisheries. Let's talk freshwater. We're going to go down to Georgia. My good buddies over at Clarks Hill have been sending some great reports in. I want to share them. The fish are located in a little bit different areas. Easy to catch though. Brush piles for your largemouth bass right now. Spotted bass and largemouth are up in the coves and up in the creeks right now on rocky piles, rocky edges. Get out there with a Ned rig or a drop shot rig. You're going to have some good numbers. Also in the freshwater, let's talk about Lake Murray. Early morning out around the dam, you're going to find school and stripers. It's a no-brainer. Get out, you can have some exciting time. Real quick action in the mornings on Lake Murray. This has been your Carolinas Report. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
I'm letting my bait drift down this current seam. There's one right here. And I'll explain what that means. Oop, he's going under the boat. Boy, these white bass are hard fighters here. That's a good one. That's a big one. Yeah. Look at here. That's what I want. Look at that. They're long, skinny fish here. They're some places over here in the Southeast, they call them stripes. But that's a white bass there. Continuous lines down his side, small mouth, big high dorsal fin. That's just a perfect specimen of a good white bass here. They're spawned out, of course. They spawn in the late spring, but they hang here all the time. So let me explain why. First of all, the water temperature coming out of that dam is the coolest anywhere around. So right through the warm weather months, they're looking for cooler water. This is where they find it. Secondly, this current moves the bait around and positions it where they can feed. So I'm on a current seam right now. Let me explain what that is. I can show you that we've got one bubbler coming out of the dam and it's running along those rocks. But then once it gets out of the channel, it circles back. So I'm actually sitting where the water is circling its way back. You've got water moving downstream, you've got it moving back upstream. Where that seam is calm water, and those white bass will sit in that seam and let bait wash by in the current, and they're just opportunistic feeders. They'll run out there and snatch it and then get right back in that calm water where they don't have to work so hard. And that's where this trolling motor, I've got my Motor Guide Tour Pro trolling motor that's the perfect combination of a cable steer motor when I want to control it with my foot. Then I can lock it down on a GPS spot and I'm locked right on this current seam. One direction, one side of the boat, the other direction, the other side, and that's where these white bass are positioning to feed. Let me tell you what's happening here. They are turning the flow on and off, these generators. Right on the bottom. And there he is, right on cue. Hey everybody, we're still below the Fort Loudoun Dam in Tennessee, and I'm having to change with these fish. I'll tell you, the fish are changing on me. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a nice one. Let me tell you what's happening here. They are turning the flow on and off, these generators, and it's changing the fish. So let me explain what's happening. These fish moved from place to place. So when they turn on more current, more flow, the fish tend to move up shallower and get on these shallow spots. So all out in front of me here, to my right, is all real shallow. In fact, if you come here, you've got to be really careful if you're idling around your engine. There are some rocks that are right under, I mean like 3 inches under the surface of the water at low current. But when they turn more current on, the fish feed more and they get up shallower. But when they turn that current off like it is right now, these fish tend to suck down against the bottom in the deepest pools there are. And I explained to you that right here in front of me, there's a real deep hole that's right at the base of the dam, and then it comes up to a ledge real shallow. So what I'm having to do right now is throw it out there in the middle of that deepest hole, let it go all the way to the bottom, and then just barely crawl and inch it along, because those fish aren't actively feeding and I'm basically making them bite. So just a couple of little keys. Hey, you can do this in any dam. There are dams all across our southeast and southwest region in almost every state. And you don't even have to have a boat to fish below most of them. A lot of people walk in the shoreline here even. But you can go do this where you live.
Boy, Savannah area fishing has really kicked off in a big way. I'll be right back with all the fishing details, but first, this from our good friends at Foreshore Transportation. This part of the program is brought to you by Foreshore Transportation, the simple solution to all your freight hauling needs. Foreshore can ship freight across the country or across the state. Whatever the load, wherever the destination, Foreshore gets it done fast, safe, and hassle-free. Captain Jack McGowan at Savannah says that the fishing has been outstanding for a wide variety of fish. Everything from flounder to tarpon are being caught. Jack is catching quite a lot of flounder. He says flounder fishing has been very good. The length limit there is 12 inches. Make sure you note that because it's on the South Carolina border near Savannah. He says that the flounder being caught around rocks and jetties and docks, creek mouths, that sort of thing. Jack Creek Valley numbers are very high too. Big schools of jacks. These are 3 to 5 pound fish. A lot of people enjoy catching them on topwater plugs. They are a gas. Shrimp boats are about everywhere, and the tarpon behind those shrimp boats. And occasionally there's kingfish and cobia in that area too behind the shrimp boats. Well, that's it for the Coastal South. Get out in the water and take a youngster with you when you go.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Lou's. Feel the difference. Waypoint Customs. Customize your boat your way. Strike King. Tie one on. Glacier Glove. Stay outdoors longer with our gloves, hats, and shades. Fishing Specialties. Makers of the premier mount assembly for live sonar.
Let me explain my technique to you on how I'm catching these fish. There's just another average size one. Looks like a skinny male. There's another one. They are hammering it now, boy. Hey everybody, welcome back to Tennessee. We're still below the Fort Loudon Dam, and I'm gonna tell you that I'm having myself a time catching big old white bass now. And I've really got them dialed in. There's another one right there. Let me explain my technique to you on how I'm catching these fish. There's just another average size one. Looks like a skinny male. So what I'm doing is I'm throwing a little Strike King Rage Swimmer. There's what it looks like, and I'll give you a little more gear look at the end of the show with all my rod, reel, line, how I've got this line tied on braid. So I'm throwing it out there on a real long cast, and I'm letting it go all the way to the bottom. And where I'm throwing is about 10 feet deep. So I'm letting it get all the way to the bottom. Once it's there, then I'll gently start, oh, there's a bite right there. I'll gently start raising that rod tip. And then I'll let that bait swim back. I got a 1/4 ounce lead head. So it swims back to the bottom, let it fall, swim, and then I'll just raise that rod tip again, let it fall back till it hits the bottom again. These fish are down pretty close to the bottom, and in this current, it takes it a pretty good ways, pretty good amount of time to get to the bottom. I'm just lifting, and then as it swims back, that's when they're biting it.
Hey guys, welcome to this week's Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama report. It's brought to you by Experience Paris. You know, Paris, Tennessee isn't just my hometown, it's one of my favorite places on earth. And let me tell you why. It doesn't matter if you want to just go experience the outdoors. There's hunting, fishing, boating, hiking, camping, or let's say you want to take your family. There's plenty of family fun there. There's dining, shopping. There's always some live music and entertainment. Check them out at Experience Paris, Tennessee. Hey, let's experience some good fishing right now, and exactly what you can do. In Mississippi right now, I would, without a doubt, I'm going to Grenada. There's not as many bites as there were in the spring, but right now is a great time to catch a giant crappie. Bigger than average baits. You want a big piece of plastic, and you want to fish isolated cover. In Alabama, I am going to Smith Lake, and I'm going night fishing. I love that place this time of year. You can beat all the recreational traffic by going out there at night, and I love to fish the mid to lower section of the lake. And in Tennessee, Kentucky Lake's really good. Went out today, caught quite a few in a short amount of time. Right now, I caught mine today on creek drops and river channel drops, taking advantage of current, taking advantage of my electronics and finding bait. I like an 8XD, probably best right now. It's a little more subtle. That's what's happening here. We'll see you when you get here. God bless you.
I can see these fish laying right off the bottom. There's one right there. I can see them right on the bottom on my Lowrance HDS Live screens up here. Right here in front of the dam in this deepest hole. This one feels different for some reason. Oh, what have I got? This is not a white. Oh, it's a walleye. I got a walleye. All right, I told you could catch anything here. I'm gonna have to grab him across the back. There we go. There's a nice walleye for you. Well, I love fishing in front of these dams because you just don't know what you're gonna catch. I told you could catch a striper, you could catch a largemouth bass, and now I've caught me a nice walleye, and I hooked him right under the chin, right where you're supposed to. But I keep my pliers handy right here where hopefully I can get it loose without, there we go, without too much of a problem. Wow, he has really got it welded. There we go, I got it. There. How about that? There's a Fort Loudon, Tennessee walleye for you, and a nice one too, right here in front of the dam. Well, we're gonna let that one go back. Hang with us, we'll be back to wrap it all up for you, show you the gear we use, give you a little more information in case you'd like to come here and make a trip, catch you some stripers, whites, walleye, crappie, bass, everything right here. Knoxville, Tennessee at Lenoir City.
Watch our latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter for new fishing videos every day. And download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury. Go boldly. Lowrance, America's #1 fish finder. Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Get our free fishing guide at orangebeach.com. Motor Guides Tour Pro with GPS anchor. The tour is back. Blazer, high-performance boats for high-performance anglers.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get right to your Ask the Pro question for this week. Kelly wants to know, do you have any superstitions? If so, what are they? For the answer, we asked Bassmaster Elite angler John Cox.
Oh my gosh, my superstitions. I'm a superstitious person. I like really. I try to get gas at pump one. You know, I try to park in the same spot that I parked the day before after I catch them. Yeah, I got a lot of weird stuff like that, but you know, it excites me, you know, when I like pull into the same spot. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was here yesterday. We're gonna catch them, you know. So yeah, I'm definitely that kind of person.
Thanks so much, John. If you have something that's on your mind that you would like to ask one of our pros, simply go to letsfishtv.com and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit a question. Now it's time to find out who wins this week's Big Catch of the Week.
We're safely back to the boat ramp, and it's time right now for this week's winner in the Big Catch of the Week contest. He's Mike Lazinski of Birmingham, Alabama, with a 37-inch redfish he caught at Lake Athanasio, Louisiana. If you'd like to be our next winner, just go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/letsfishtv. Go to last Tuesday's post. Post your picture there in the comments along with all the details about your catch.
Here's today's Right Stuff, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Next up on the Academy Right Stuff, it's the right gear that helped me catch those white bass along with the other species that we caught on this week's episode. It begins with the Rage Swimmer. This is the Strike King Rage Swimmer. It's a little 2 3/4 inch swim bait. I had it rigged up on a 1/4 ounce lead head and I swam it off the bottom for those white bass. Also, I used the Strike King Tour Grade braided line in the high vis yellow color. That really helped me see my strikes, but had about a 6-foot Tour Grade fluorocarbon leader attached to it. I tried it without the leader, it didn't work, so I needed that clear leader. And my balls out mounts, my latest configuration is my favorite. I've got my 2 Lowrance HDS live units mounted side by side right here on the console. Again, these balls out mounts are configurable in any way you want, and this is the perfect setup for my 2 side by sides. You can see there they're also perfectly color coordinated to my boat. You can get them in a color that'll match your boat as well in any configuration for any fish finder. Check them out, the website you see on your screen. One of my pastors at my church, his name is Joey White. He loves to fish, and I took him fishing one day. He chose to go fishing over a bunch of other choices that he had that day, and on the way fishing, he told me this. He said, I always do the thing that makes the better story. So one of these days, when you're sitting in retirement in your rocking chair with your grandkids, you won't remember all the little projects and all the extra work that you got done, but you will remember that big old fish you caught, and you'll tell that story 100 times. So when you have a choice, do what my pastor Joey White says, do the thing that makes the better story. I hope you enjoyed our trip to the Tennessee River and the Fort Loudon Dam just outside Lenoir City, Tennessee as much as I did. I had a blast catching those big old white bass. And as an added bonus, as you saw, I caught a walleye, and then I want to show you a quick shot of a smallmouth bass that I caught doing the exact same thing I was doing to catch those white bass. Again, you never know what you're likely to catch here. And if you need more information or any tackle or bait or anything for any of these water bodies around here, you can contact Big Fish Outfitters in Lenoir City at the information you see on your screen. From Tennessee, until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.